Your support, finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support. The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio, rooted in Lakota aesthetics of geometry, color, and pattern. Deani Whitehawk's abstractions are rich in meaning, honoring generations of Native artists. Explore her wide-ranging practice, including vivid beading paintings, sculptures, and video installations, and Deani Whitehawk's love language. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. Plan your visit and get tickets at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Deani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition celebrating Whitehawk closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clearing skies with a low of 3 above, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 17. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has the best roast beef sandwiches in the Twin Cities, but don't miss out on the chicken, fish, brisket, Philly steak, and more. Maverick's is located in Roseville on Lexington Avenue, 1 mile south of Highway 36. Visit mavericksbeef.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Corny cup, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we have our friend Dr. Stately on. Dr. Stately, great to see you. Before we get into our dance and groove here, we have an update from our good friend, the Lieutenant Governor. Why don't we take a listen to our friend Peggy Flanagan, the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Minnesota.
Hi, Robert. I want to start by saying something very clearly. No matter where you fall politically, having an armed paramilitary force come into our state should be unacceptable to everyone. Minnesotans believe in the rule of law, in due process, and in taking care of our neighbors. And what we've seen lately has shaken people to their core. Trump has sent over 3,000 immigration agents into our communities. 2 Minnesotans, Renee and Alex, have now been killed at the hands of the federal government. Children are being detained and families torn apart. Even Native American folks are being detained. You know, we've been here since time immemorial, and there is no one who's been on this land longer than us. It's racial profiling, plain and simple. And to Indian country, keep taking care of each other, protecting each other, and continuing to have each other's backs, because I am with you. What we're going through right now is incredibly hard, but what gives me hope is that even in the face of violence, Minnesotans are showing up with unwavering strength, resilience, and a deep love for one another. All across the state, we are seeing people take action through nonviolent resistance, peaceful protests, people bringing groceries to their neighbors, wearing whistles, using their phones to be constitutional observers, showing up in red shawls and jingle dresses at the memorial site for Alex Preddy, showing up for one another. Because that's who we are. We speak up for our neighbors. We care about each other, and we are going to keep doing exactly that. And I want to be extremely clear that ICE is out of control and beyond fixing. We have to completely rip it apart and start over and reimagine how immigration enforcement works in this country. We can have a secure border and immigration enforcement without abandoning due process or human dignity. Those values are not in conflict. We can have an immigration system that is humane, effective, and consistent with our constitutional values. Now, while what's happening with ICE is front and center for a lot of Minnesotans, it's not the only thing that we're dealing with. And across the state, I know that people are feeling squeezed. They want to be able to afford the lives that they're working so hard to build. Donald Trump was right about one thing. He said that people feel like the system is rigged. But here's what he won't tell you. The people rigging the system are the ones who are in charge right now, working for billionaires, corporations, and their wealthy friends, and not for working families. And for me, this isn't abstract. My story is a Minnesota story. When I was young, I felt like the bottom could fall out at any moment. We relied on Section 8 to pay the rent. SNAP, what we used to call food stamps back in the day, is what kept food on the table. And I was that kid with the different colored lunch ticket. I carried a box of commodity cheese under my arm like a football. We were poor in money, but rich in cheese. And I am alive today because of Medicaid or medical assistance. I had severe asthma as a kid, and there were times when I was in the hospital more than I was in school. And I remember watching my mom who worked so hard. She walked across the stage at St. Kate's University in her blue cap and gown after earning her phlebotomy certificate. And it felt like I was walking across that stage with her. Those investments didn't just change my family's life. They're the reason that I'm here today. And I'm trying to do everything I can to pay that back and pay that forward through public service. That's why I get frustrated when Democrats play defense, when we're nibbling around the edges, when we send sternly worded letters instead of actually doing something. Minnesotans will tell you exactly what they need if you're willing to listen. I helped lead the fight to raise the minimum wage in this state and index it to inflation. People said it was too much. But what we were supposed to do, come back every few years while families kept falling further behind. Meanwhile, in Washington, the minimum wage has been stuck at $7.25 for more than 16 years, and that's unacceptable. I helped organize for paid family and medical leave. It took years to get it done, but we did it, and it just went into effect, and that tells me something important. You get what you organize for. The same is true for Social Security and for Medicare, big ideas that felt impossible until people demanded them. Today, people are telling me about $15,000 deductibles for their health care. I talked to a nurse practitioner in Detroit Lakes who can't find a health plan with a deductible under $10,000. That's what's too much, not Medicare for all. And when I talk about Medicare for all in Greater Minnesota, people get it because they're already paying the price for a broken system. Childcare is another one. The biggest raise I ever received was when my daughter started all-day kindergarten and I stopped paying for full-time childcare. Parents are driving hours just to find care. Childcare isn't a luxury. It is the backbone of our economy. Housing too. Wall Street is buying up homes, driving up rent, locking people out of home ownership, and enough is enough. We need to build more housing, and we can pay for it by rolling back those big tax cuts for the wealthiest people who never needed them in the first place. And here's what all of these things have in common. Someone is benefiting from things being exactly the way they are today. And it's not you and it's not me. Right now, Trump and the Republicans want us fighting over scraps while billionaires take the whole pie. And I am not interested in that. And that's why I'm not taking a dime of corporate PAC money. And I'm the only candidate in this race making that commitment. You can't say you're going to regulate corporations with one hand while taking their money with the other. Minnesotans are smarter than that. I mean, does it mean that I have to hustle a little bit more? Absolutely. But my mom, who we lost in 2022, used to say, Peggy, it's good work if you can get it. And she was right. And before I go, I want to share some exciting news that I was just endorsed by our U.S. Senator Tina Smith. Senator Smith has served on the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs and has been a fierce, consistent advocate for tribal nations, for sovereignty, and for making sure that Native voices are heard in Washington. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to have earned her endorsement. Senator Smith's seat is going to stay blue. So the question is, what kind of Democrat do we want to send to Washington? Someone who goes along to get along, or a bold progressive who isn't afraid to challenge the status quo? I'm ready to fight for the future we all deserve, and I'm asking folks to get involved. So show up at your precinct caucus on Tuesday. Raise your hand, become a delegate, help someone else become one, because it's really hard for dark money to influence people organizing and, community rooms and libraries or classrooms. This is how we win with people. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for caring about your neighbors. And thank you for being part of this work. And make sure you go to your caucus tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Together, we can build a future that works for all of us. Gitchi miigwech. Robert, back to you.
Well, thank you, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Well, Dr. Stately, I'm just fired up again in a good way. We only got a couple minutes here, and we can comment a little more on it a little later, but gets me going.
Yeah, that was a really great talking points she shared with us. I was thinking about when she was talking about growing up, it made me chuckle when she said carrying a box of a package of a commodity cheese like a football. It was like yeah, that makes sense, And Minnesotans would have won the Super Bowl more frequently if it was actually commodity cheese they were throwing around out there.
Jeez. Well, you know what I like, and again, we got less than 30 seconds here before we go on to a break, but bringing up Wall Street and homes, I remember Alex Rodriguez, who now owns the Timberwolves, was on a TV show, and he talked about his wealth coming from owning doorknobs, and basically he's doing the same thing, buying all these low-end houses and then jacking up the rent and really not helping people. And I just want to remember that every time you go to a Timberwolves game, that's where he's coming from. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're with Dr. Stately, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this short break. The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota private colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition, celebrating Whitehawk, closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
I'm I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert. Hey, I am here with our friend Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic here in Minneapolis in the Twin Cities. And I just got one of the things I want to just bring up real quick, Dr. Stately, is everybody needs to go out and caucus. And Wendy and I will be at our caucus tomorrow. And, it's really great to see the Lieutenant Governor get all these endorsements. And also it gives me a pause to remember, Bernie Sanders not taking the money from corporate and averaging $26.50 per money. And Wendy and I, whenever we'd see Bernie on TV or anything, we'd give him $26. And so that's great that Peggy, the Lieutenant Governor, is doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I love that she's not taking corporate PAC money at all, and and it is true. She is working hard to build her coalition and to build her support, and she's got great support across the state, not just in tribal communities, but all across the state because of the work she does. She goes into communities. She has conversations with people who are hardworking and who are, so I think that she's doing really well. I was just talking about caucusing this morning with my sister, asking her if she's going to go to her caucus meetings tomorrow. I would imagine that, like, when I go to my caucus meeting tomorrow evening, that I'm sure that a significant number of the Democrats in the Prior Lake area are going to be wanting to advocate for Angie Craig. Just been our representative for a number of years now in that area. But I'm going to do my best to advocate that people consider the Lieutenant Governor. I think that I don't really have a significant eye on what Angie Craig has done for our community specifically. I know she's done some things, but I don't think she's done a significant amount of work. Certainly nothing on the scale of what the Lieutenant Governor has done for us. Anyway.
Yeah, you say that nicely. I've been talking about the last couple of weeks. It's kind of got me in trouble. But voting for ICE just a year ago. If you look at her YouTube videos, she was really down on Biden and getting him out of the race and squawking about that. And really, we don't need people that work the middle of the road. We need our progressive and democratic people to really fight for us.
We need people who will actually take a stand, right? So we've seen what happens with when we compromise. So anyway.
Did you check out the Grammys at all last night?
I did not, actually. I didn't. What was I doing last night? I think I was cooking for my kids.
Yes.
And then I was working on my Bush Fellowship report, which was due yesterday. So I finished that before the end of the evening. And I was also just doing stuff. I forgot the Grammys were on. I've been reading all the stuff online though about it.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was awesome.
It was I saw the video between Trevor Noah and Bad Bunny, of course.
When he was at the table.
Yeah, and I saw the comment that what's her name made about
Billie Eilish.
No, not Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. But no, Lady Gaga said, like, I wonder if they're gonna kiss, because in one moment their faces were so close to each other, and people have been saying like Trevor Noah's gay. I think Nicki Minaj said something about him being gay, like in her comments on Facebook and shit like that. So she's anyway, we can talk about Nicki Minaj another time. But I deleted her off all of my Apple Music. I deleted all her music off my stuff. So which
Yeah.
sadly she has a song where I think she sings along with SZA and also Doja Cat, but I'm like, oh, she's got to go. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, with AI, you could probably sing it now and play it back, and you wouldn't have to give her any
Probably
credit.
better than her. Probably better than
Yeah.
But
Well,
I don't have the backside that she has. I'd have to,
yeah. I almost said something, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna move on and talk about Billie Eilish saying we're all on stolen land. Nobody's illegal on stolen land, and I thought, right on, youngster. And then there was a lot of bleeped out bleep ice, and I like to see that.
Of course you do. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that too. Get ready to bleep. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Patrick, get ready. He's going. He's going for it.
No,
Now,
but
if
I
you were
mean, I
Bobby
think,
Wilson, I'd be worried.
yeah. But I'm thinking, you told me one time that me and Bobby Wilson are the two that are the closest to swearing on your show. So I don't know. I'm blaming it on my elderhood. Like I just forget. I forget that I'm not supposed to do that. So anyway,
It's hilarious. I think last week you did swear on the show.
I did. It's true. I did. I was pissed though. Like that was right after Alex was murdered. So it's just like that was the challenge. And it was like, think about it. It was just only a week ago, a little over a week ago that he was murdered. And it feels like so much has happened since then, And I read that. I don't know. Did you read the New York Times front page piece?
No.
Yeah. So they had a whole, thing on the impact that ICE was having on Minnesota's indigenous community. Sophie Watts, who is the daughter of a friend of mine and a tribal member at Shakopee, Lori Watts, and her husband was one of the Native people over the last several weeks that was pulled into ICE detention by ICE officers. She was protesting. She's a student at the University of Minnesota, and she was protesting, practicing her civil rights, right, and to have peaceful protests. And they smashed out her windows and dragged her out of her car and detained her. But I think one of the things it's a really beautiful piece that was on the cover, the front page of the New York Times on Saturday morning or Friday morning. I think it's Friday morning, actually. So pretty remarkable. And Minnesota is all over the country. I have friends I lived in California for 18 years. I lived in Seattle for 5. I've traveled all over the world and all over the United States and worked in all these different places as consultants and stuff. But I have friends all over the world who are all calling me and just telling me like how, amazed and how proud they are, or how supportive they are about the work that we're doing here in Minnesota to sort of, to push back on, this is imperialism. This is imperialism, what modern day imperialism looks like, right? And my comments back to people are all the time is like, Minneapolis, at least for the Native community specifically, but I think it's true of a lot of other communities. I mean, I think that we were one of the early sort of groundbreaking for all kinds of things. A lot of the movement around gay and lesbian rights and trans rights started here as well, not just
That's right.
Not on the coast necessarily. And I remember when I was a little gay boy growing up in Minneapolis that there weren't a lot of places around. There was no place closer than Los Angeles or New York that was having a gay pride when we were having them. So that was pretty remarkable. So it's just like my family. I come from my mother was part of the my mother and my extended family through my father. My mother's relationships and marriages were all part of that group of people who helped us create AIM, and that warrior spirit and that dissident and spirit is in my blood. So I haven't been out protesting a whole lot with the ICE situation over the last couple of weeks. Not necessarily because I'm fearful, but I'm old and it's cold as hell outside, so I didn't go outside. But also, like, I've been anxious about my kids. I have one kid that both my children are not enrolled necessarily. I'm working now hard to get them enrolled, but they also, they're 18 and they're forgetful. They forget to carry their birth certificates with them, and and after they cut their braids off, they look like they're Mexicans now. So
yeah.
I get anxious about them being out and about. I'm like, not going to be out and about. So.
That is definitely a thing, and especially the way things are happening here. I want to talk a little bit.
I do carry my ice whistle with me though. Have it in my pocket.
It was cool. Somebody at the Grammys had a red whistle on his lapel, and they asked him about it, and it was like supporting all the people in Minneapolis. And I was like, oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Instead of having an upside down American flag, you can have a red whistle.
Yeah. This whistle is crazy. It'll burst your eardrums if you're nearby.
Well, swearing and blowing the whistle might help ratings, but right now we got to take a break. This is Native Roots Radio, and maybe the bumper music. There it is. Hey, we're with Dr. Stately, and we got a lot more to talk about. And after Dr. Stately, we're going to have Natalie on and talking about what's happening at the Minneapolis Indian Center. This is Native Roots Radio. Oh, wow. The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio, rooted in Lakota aesthetics of geometry, color, and pattern. Deani Whitehawk's abstractions are rich in meaning, honoring generations of Native artists. Explore her wide-ranging practice, including vivid beading paintings, sculptures, and video installations in Deani Whitehawk's love language. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. Plan your visit and get tickets at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota private colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Deani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition celebrating Whitehawk closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been telling you about my friends at Snap Construction, who are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior construction company in the metro. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at all their reviews online. Winter is the most cost-effective time of the year to complete your construction project. A majority of Minnesotans choose to have their work completed on their home in the summer when they should be enjoying the weather. As a result, the demand for labor in the summer is much higher. The most cost-effective way to improve or restore your home is in the winter due to the lower demand. Right now, Snap Construction is offering an additional 30% off of labor to the AM 950 listeners on your next construction project between now and the end of February. Call 612-333-SNAP and mention AM 950 for an additional 30% off. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh, every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clearing skies with a low of 3 above, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 17. Go Dog Go, Vape is going on now at Children's Theater Company. Get tickets today for this joyful bilingual musical where delightful dogs drive, swim, play baseball, and race to the big dog party. Get your tickets at childrenstheater.org. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with our friend, Dr. Stately, Native American Community Clinic CEO and president, and we always love having our conversation with Dr. Stately. Dr. Stately, yesterday, and again, I think like you for but a different reason, more that I'm 65 years old or 64 years old, and being out in that really cold weather is not really conducive for health for somebody my age. And it's cooled down here. I have been out a few times, but I was also yesterday at the Jingle Dress dance that held ceremonies at the place where Renee the Good and Alex Pretty were killed, and offered a prayer and 2 dances, and it was just great to be in community and see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while too.
Yeah, I was really disappointed I missed that yesterday. Part of that was because I already had plans with my kids, but also I know they're going to have one next week as well again, so I'm planning on going to that one next week, which is really excited about that. And it'll be warmer too next week, but by the way, just so you know.
At Powderhorn Park, I believe, right?
Yeah, Powderhorn. Yeah. I think there's a flyer going around. I'll forward it to you so you can put it on your thing for the next week, for the next several days. But yeah, I scored myself a Marlena Miles Ice Out of my Minnesota Makoche poster, which I'm really excited about.
No, that's awesome. You see the poster I got in the back here?
Yeah, that's funny.
It's
I can't see that like your name is through the part. Yeah, it's a plow that looks like a
Ice Out Minnesota instead of night plowing.
Yeah, nice. Did you like steal that from somewhere?
Yeah, you can see it's ripped at Minneapolis American Indian Center. They had 2 of them, and they said I could have one, but boy, they really taped that baby on the door, so I ripped it. But it looks good on the radio.
Did you show up in the middle of the night and take it, or what?
No, they offered.
Nice.
They saw me struggling though. They used some really good tape.
Wow.
Brian and those guys.
Must have been that, what do you call it, tape? Gorilla tape. Anyway, yeah. No, it's like I had to write my Bush Fellowship reflection. So every 3 months I have to write a report about like how things are going in my fellowship and stuff. And I had this, like I sat down several times over the last week or 2 to try to write it. And it was like a really hard thing for me to write. You know, it was like, and I just was like, why? I don't usually have this much difficulty writing, you know. I mean, I've been a writer my whole life. And then I was thinking, you know, this is the impact of what's been kind of going on for in our community, I think, in our city. And the impact it has on me is that I've been worried about my kids, worried about them being out and about. And I have one son that's like, I have one son that like is homebound. He just never leaves. He doesn't go anywhere. He's more than happy to be on the couch, right? Hang out with his girlfriend at night. And I have another one that like is just a lot like I was, I think, which makes me anxious. You know, I remember what I was doing when I was 18. And certainly he doesn't do any of those things, I don't think. At least he says he doesn't. But, you know, he's just a wanderlust. He wants to be out every single day. He wants to go somewhere, you know, like, and so I'm like anxious about it. And so I realize how much of a toll that's taking on me emotionally and psychologically. If he doesn't have his location on his phone, which we're always fighting about, him and I, and then, you know, if he says he's going to be home at like midnight and it's 1 o'clock or 1:30 and he hasn't gotten home yet, like my anxiety level is so high that I can't go to sleep. So it's like had this, you know, this whole situation takes up so much space in my head and in my body, right? We're ending early tonight because I'm going to go and see my Reiki practitioner because I need some self-care. I need somebody to kind of regulate this nervous system that I have that is just kind of chaotic and going all over the place. But I had to sit down last night and really spend a lot of time focusing on, you know, what I was going to say in this Bush report. And so I just thought, like, I'm going to just talk about where I'm at right now, which is I'm like, you know, the place where I'm at right now is like, this is taking up a lot of my space, my mental and emotional space. And I don't have a lot of bandwidth for anything else.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah, it really affects certain people a certain way. I know, like, we have, for our little puppy, we have one of these little, radar things that you could maybe sew in his jacket and know where he is all the time. There's an app, and I think it's only like $20. I'll send you the link.
I was gonna just slip a Apple, you know, Apple, what do you call it thing? Apple AirTag in his
yeah.
like sew it into like a pair of jeans or something like that, or just drop one in.
Well,
Because
if he was anything like,
he has an iPhone, so I'll always know, like, you know.
but if he's anything like me at his age, I wear the same jacket all the time. So it's just, hey, let's put that in the.
That's what I could
that
do.
right in there.
He's a teenager. I could put it in his underwear. He doesn't change that except once every couple of weeks.
Well, I don't think in the 70s we wore underwear, did we? I can't remember. That was
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Your audience is like, wow, that really turned south fast. Anyway,
what else is on? NPR, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say that so one of the things I wanted to, and I'll circle back with you at some point in time and touch bases with you about this. I'll get a little bit more information about this, but you know, I got a disturbing email this morning from some folks. There was like this last weekend, there was a significant spike in overdose, non-fatal overdoses, and most of them were non-fatal, but significant spike. Like we haven't had this many overdoses in the 55404 zip code for a really long time. We've worked really, really hard. You know, many of us have, like NAC has a harm reduction team that, you know, distributes a lot of naloxone. We do a lot of work in this field, and we have for a long time, as do a lot of our partners in and around the corridor. But it's been challenging that, you know, the last couple of weeks, and especially this ever since Operation Metro Surge, people are afraid to go places. They're afraid to reach out for help. They're isolated, and we're going to get more people who are going to be struggling with things like having more overdoses happen, possibly more fatal deaths. Last week, we had Sarah and Nicole Mason on, and talking thank you, by talking about, like, you know, the impact that this is having on our unsheltered people. This, you know, they're kind of like the forgotten ones, right? And so part of it is like we have to wake up to the fact that the impact that this is having also, it's similar to like what happened with George Floyd after the George Floyd murder, and there was all of this civil unrest and things were chaotic. We saw a big spike in opioid overdoses and deaths because of all of the the pharmacies in South Minneapolis and around the area got burned down, and so people couldn't get access to care. They couldn't get access to their naloxone, or they couldn't get access to buprenorphine if that's where they had to pick it up, right? They had prescriptions there, and so what we saw, and we're going to see that again now with the chaos that's happening in our community now. The ones that are the most vulnerable are going to be the ones that are going to pay the price for this craziness. And so just want to remind everybody, like, it's cold out at night. It's very, very cold. Places like MIWC and other places are looking for people to donate used blankets, or in good condition, clean, wash them before you bring them over there. Don't bring your,
right.
You specifically don't bring your bed bugs there or anything else like that. But these are things we need to do for our relatives, because there's no other place that's going to do it, right? And so, but we have to pay attention. If you see people on the street that look like they're nodding out, make sure that they're okay. Call the 911 and get an emergency responder over there. As rapidly as you can, if you yourself don't carry naloxone in your car or on your person. But these are things that I think we had something like 15 or 17 overdoses this last weekend, which is significantly higher than it's been in a while.
Wow, I appreciate that update too. And I just to give a shout out too, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how people can help out with Ruth Anna's Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. Easily found, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Minnesota Indian Resource Center has been around for more than 50 years. It was an institution that was created, over half a decade ago. When my mother was a young mother, and I know that she got a lot of support from them as we were growing up as kids. But also, I think one of the things I would say is they need a lot of support. MIWC got transformed a lot of their housing units above their administrative offices and their community offices, or community space, to provide housing. She opened up a lot of those beds and those spaces for people who are living unsheltered and unhoused. They need support. You can show up at MIWC any night of the week, and they'll have a fire outside. They'll have, they have lately this last couple of weeks during the extreme cold, they've been having warming shelters for people to come inside, get in and out of the cold, warm up, have some food, have something hot to drink. NAC and our outreach team and our medical team have been partnering with them for a while now and providing some care and services over there as much as we possibly can. And they're a great partner. They've been a great partner for a number of years now, and they're doing really important work. And I know there's been some stuff happening on Facebook and other socials about that. I think from my perspective, that's that's the lateral violence that we do within our own community when we don't like a thing of how somebody operates or a decision people have to make. But when you're in a leadership position, and I have a lot of sympathy for her, empathy for her. It's hard to be in a leadership position because you have to make really hard decisions, but you also have to make sure that people are held accountable for things. So.
Absolutely. Hey, Dr. Stately, maybe I can get you on for a segment or two later on this week. Really got more to talk about, and congratulate you too to walk by your beautiful building. That's just unbelievable. It's going to be so building. Great. Hey, thank you. Wow. He did a little Trump there. That was interesting. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. And back after this short break. Please stay with us. Thanks, Dr. Stately.
You go up, man.
The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights. and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota private colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Deani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition celebrating Whitehawk closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot. Hey, we are with our friend Natalie, and Natalie is with the Minneapolis American Indian Center. And Natalie, I haven't seen you in a while, but my goodness, you guys are busy at the center and really supporting community, and just a big peeny-gigi thank you for coming on and checking in with us.
Yeah, good to see you again. It has been a bit, but yeah, life's been crazy lately. I feel like everyone's stepping up and doing their part right now.
Absolutely. So you have different tribes coming in there and doing IDs for their members. That's just an awesome thing that the Minneapolis American Indian Center is doing.
Yeah. I feel like our building, it's kind of our whole mission is providing essential services to the community. And so we've really shifted to meet the needs of right now. And one of that is having tribes come in so we can get everyone proper IDs. Because so many people, it's like you have to go to your reservation and it might be far away and it's hard to get over there. And so a lot of the tribes are coming in to the center, and a lot of times it's free to get your ID now, and they're setting up camp at the center. So yeah, I think we've got, who's coming this week? We got White Earth next week, Crow Creek, Lower Brule. But yeah, we've just had a ton of tribes coming in just to make sure everyone's got proper IDs on them so they can carry them around and be protected, or at least be able to show it if there's any ICE activity.
Yeah, that's great. And then also, what's cool is it seems like now in the last, because I'm stopping in at the powwow ground, seeing how things are going, if they need anything, and just getting the vibe. But then also, depending on what time it is, I end up at the Gatherings Cafe, which to me, the food's delicious, but it's also so reasonably priced. I don't mind stopping by for I go for the fish sandwich. And the fish is from Red Lake, I believe.
Yep, it's Red Lake Walleye.
Yeah.
Maybe we got to get you a booth there, Robert. You got to have like your own little seat because you're there enough.
Yeah, exactly. But heck, I'm just telling everyone it's so reasonable. I also saw too that the gym's closed, but I don't know if I had a dream or if I saw something online that there was all this new equipment that was coming in. Was I dreaming or did I see that?
Oh yeah, so we closed the fitness center back in December. We did a giant revamp, and so we actually opened this Wednesday. So we'll be open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 in the fitness center. But yeah, we got all new equipment, and we've had some of our staff are really great artists, so they painted a big mural in there. It looks completely different in the fitness center. We got new equipment, new weights, stair stepper that looks really cool, and a bunch of other new stuff. So yeah, starting this Wednesday, we'll be open again, which is good because I know, especially in the winter time and with everything going on, people are wanting to get moving and be active, and it'll still be free for the community. We are going to have people re-register, just so we're going to update our database and make sure everyone's signed up to participate. But yeah, we'll be back up and at it starting Wednesday.
That's really good to know. And is it been since the day after Christmas that I've seen you?
I
Is that
think
the last
so.
time I've
It
seen you?
might have been 2025. It's been a bit.
That's
It was like
crazy.
a
Well,
lifetime ago.
let me ask you something. I did not know you were a runner, and you ran with people from Fort Snelling to Mankato.
Oh yeah, the Dakota 38+2 run.
Yeah.
Which that was very powerful. Everyone kind of takes a segment and supports each other and runs through the night. And it was cool seeing you in the morning. I feel like I was exhausted and you were like amped up and cheering everybody on and like keeping people's spirits up, even though everyone was like half asleep at that point. So
It was amazing. I go down there every year to start the year off, and it's just amazing to remember that because down in that area is where Ho Chunks were, and so that's our area down there. So it's great to go down there and witness all the people that still remember and want to remember, and then also do what you did, and that's the horses were there, and also you guys did the run. And there's many times that started from Fort Snelling that I've been there for the ceremony before you guys ran.
Oh wow. Yeah, so you remember it before they started that part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got there's I don't know if you know Doug, but he was one of the original people that started it, and I think he's almost 80 now, and he still runs it every year. So he
Wow.
starts it off and is there at the end, and yeah, he's been there. I think it was in the 80s that it started, but yeah, I think run it every year since it began.
Well, again, I didn't know you were a runner. Tell me about that.
I don't know.
You got to be a runner to do this.
We got the Indian Center started a run club a couple years ago. It's Four Winds Run Club, and so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got
I know
pressured
that.
into joining, and it's really great. There's a lot of folks in it, and everyone is just really supportive, and it's a great way to just be in community and get moving, and all paces and abilities are welcome. So there's some people who walk and some who run and everything in between.
That's cool. I think I would sign up for that just to get the jacket, and then I wouldn't show up again because
Yeah.
I'm wearing my swag. Uh-huh. What'd you say?
Yeah, just get some shoes, get a jacket, and then you're good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I gotta just give you just huge props doing that. That's very emotional to see you guys run in there. And yeah, and it just reminds me we're still here, and what a great place to be. And the temperature's always different down there. So we got a few more minutes. What is happening now at the Minneapolis Indian Center that we need to be alert on? Or
Yeah.
alerted on?
Yeah. Be up to date. Yeah, so I think the big things we got going on next week, Valentine's Day. So February 11th on Wednesday, we're doing a Sweethearts Round Dance from 5 to 8. So bring your sweetheart, bring your fam. There'll be prize giveaway. There'll be dinner served. Should be really fun. It's a good event that the Culture Language Arts Network program puts on every year. And then February 14th is the annual MMIR March, so Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives. And so that's on a Saturday this year, but it starts at noon at the Indian Center. And then, like every year, we'll march around the neighborhood for about a mile and then come back and have chili from Gatherings Cafe and cornbread and just kind of all be together and honor our relatives. And I think last year we had over 500 people, so it's usually pretty big. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's great. And Natalie, it's great to have it back at the Indian Center because you guys were closed for a couple of years. And it's really great to be there. And always seems like it's like snows or does something on that day. And so it's great to get in there and warm up. Yeah. We got less than a minute. What else is going on there?
I mean, we're still open right now. I know the world's kind of crazy, but it's a really great place to come to gatherings and have a nice meal, support an Indigenous restaurant, come be in community. I mean, with everything going on, it's just good to be together and see people. And yeah, I think I don't know, most of our programs are still operating, but yeah, we're just hanging out, having a good time at the Indian Center.
Right on. Hey, give the email or Facebook or how people can see what's happening and get a hold of you.
Yeah, we're on Facebook and Instagram, Minneapolis American Indian Center, or our website, www.maicnet.org.
Natalie, thank you so much for stopping in, and we gotta see each other more often. It's great talking to you. I can't believe it's been a month. Jeez.
Right. Great talking to you too, Robert.
Right on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist our best and join a group, run for office, and go to the caucus. We'll see you tomorrow.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air.